Very warm welcome to everyone joining today. Today we will be discussing about one of the most pressing problems faced by organizations, which is the increasing levels of cybersecurity debt. Now, this can also be attributed to the exponential increase in the number of digital identities because of digital transformation, but we also know that no transformative projects can be achieved without making large scale technology initiatives. Now, large scale technology initiatives will obviously include a lot of new digital identities, virtual ID cards, and each of them containing credentials of the human or machine linked to it. Now, when there is an exponential increase in digital identities, definitely managing them or securing them is a challenge. When this is not done properly, it leads to a data breach and therefore leads to cybersecurity debt. I go by the name Debs. I'm a technical evangelist with Manage Engine, and today we will be talking about how to reduce cybersecurity debt with identity governance and administration. We'll discuss the reasons for the increase in cybersecurity debt and how it negatively impacts your organization. We'll also see why identity based attacks are on the rise and why an identity based security model is the need of the hour. Now, in order to implement an identity based security model, identity governance and administration IGA is essential. Moving further, we'll discuss what IGA is and how it can help reduce cybersecurity debt. And finally, I'll also talk about what are the IGA must haves for your organization and how ADManager Plus, Manage Engine's IGA solution, can help you achieve this and reduce cybersecurity debt. The global cost of cybercrime was $6 trillion last year. It is a report according to Cybersecurity Ventures. And the same report also mentioned that the global cost of cybercrime is expected to reach around $10.5 trillion dollars annually by 2025. Now, these numbers, they denote a very alarming cost that organizations have to bear as a result of poor security infrastructures, and it can also turn out that all of these imposes cybersecurity debt on organizations, which results in financial loss and negatively impacts the organization's reputation. So we'll quickly take a look at what cybersecurity debt actually is. Basically, cybersecurity debt is the cost paid by organizations in trying to expand their security infrastructure to maintain business continuity or add new systems to their existing infrastructure. Now, for example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, organizations were more focused on adding more technology or more tools that would ensure their business continuity or help them to keep the lights on. And as more and more technology gets added in a haphazard manner, the fundamental security posture of the organization is put to risk. This will also increase the possibility of security loopholes that attackers can use to their own advantage. Now, to ensure business continuity, organizations allowed employees to access critical resources from any location. This poses a major threat to the security of the organization. Digital initiatives, therefore, do not necessarily ensure the organization's security. In fact, they put the organization at risk. And when attackers use these loopholes and vulnerabilities to gain entry into the network and cause data breaches, all of this results in huge financial loss for the organization. And this is called cybersecurity debt, and organizations must prevent it at all costs. So, let us take a look at the ways in which we can reduce cybersecurity debt. Another very interesting fact that 84% of organizations experienced at least one identity related breach last year. So, this reinforces the fact that identity is now becoming the new perimeter, and identity based attacks such as credential stuffing, password spraying, all of these are on the rise. Identities are the new perimeter. We've been saying that for the last 3 years, but we are probably not focusing enough on how we should secure these individual identities within an organization. So, we'll take a look at why identity based attacks are increasing and why it's important to implement an identity based security strategy in your organization. The first and foremost reason for the increase in identity based attacks is due to rapid digital transformation. Now, in the recent years, there has been huge growth in the number of digital identities used across enterprises, and identities are not just limited to users anymore. They now extend to devices, applications, bots, third party vendors, and all other entities besides the employees in the organization. Even among users, there are different types of identities, such as those belonging to IT administrators, or remote workers, or contractors, or privileged accounts. So, if I were to put all of this in a more simple manner, each organization has thousands and thousands of identities that need to be managed on an everyday basis. And each identity is a potential entry point for attackers to gain access to the organization's assets. Identity based attacks are now becoming very common, such as identity theft or credential stealing and exploitation of vulnerabilities in networks. So, all of this can be catastrophic once they gain access to privileged data. So, it is very, very important to establish identity based security strategy, and this can be done with the help of identity governance and administration. So, to establish an identity based security strategy in your organization, one of the most important frameworks that you must deploy is IGA. IGA basically enables IT administrators to manage user identities and their access rights more efficiently. And as an organization grows in number, it's difficult to keep track of every single identity in the network. It is easy to lose visibility over what is happening within the network. IGA helps prevent this. It improves visibility over every single user identity, including their access rights. So, IT admins can take necessary controls to prevent any unauthorized access. But why does an organization need IGA in the first place? Now, as we know, hybrid workforce is becoming the new normal. Employees are going to be working from multiple locations on a regular basis, and this means that there are going to be even more devices or more users and much, much more data for your IT administrators to monitor and secure on a daily basis. The platforms have also increased today. It's no longer just your corporate network you have to manage, you have to secure your on premise data, cloud data, and with each new technological advancement, the IT ecosystem is going to get more and more complex, and it's absolutely going to become tedious, if not impossible, to secure all of this. To effectively manage user identities, their access rights, you need IGA in your organization. It's crucial to give the right level of access so that neither the user experience is affected nor does the security levels of your organization. Now, how does an IGA work and what does it deliver to your organization? From the name itself, we can understand that it's a combination of identity governance and identity administration. So, identity governance is technically all about improved visibility into user access, segregation of duties, role based access, workflow management, analytics, reporting, and so on and so forth. But on the other hand, identity administration is all about provisioning, deprovisioning, user account management, privileged account management, and all of this extensive capabilities put together into one security model is IGA. Now we've taken a look at what IGA is. We'll discuss a couple of must haves for your organization. This will actually help you avoid or reduce cybersecurity debt. We've discussed before one of the key strategies to reduce cybersecurity debt is by establishing an identity based security strategy. The first one being identity lifecycle management, preventing privilege escalation, reporting, and analytics. We'll take a look at each of these IGA essentials in a more detailed manner, and I'll also let you know how Manage Engine's IGA solution ADManager Plus can help you deploy these IGA capabilities. We'll start off with identity lifecycle management. Now, in terms of definition, identity lifecycle management is just the process of managing a user account throughout its entire lifecycle. So, right when an employee joins your organization, you'll be creating a user account for them right from then till the time the employee resigns or is no longer a part of your organization. The whole journey is managed under identity lifecycle management. Now, this is a continuous and an ongoing process. It begins with providing the new joining employee with all the necessary access or privileges they need to perform their job, and with time it may also include revoking a couple of accesses that are no longer needed. And if the person gains more responsibilities over time, they might also need to access some other resources. Potentially, the last step is almost the most important of it all, which is to disable the employee account and revoke all their access right from the day that employee is no longer a part of the organization. It may sound simple to do this once, but it definitely gets complicated when you have to do this for multiple employees for multiple times. For example, when an employee leaves the organization, the right security protocol is to immediately disable the employee's user account. Now, the first step to this is disabling the user account and moving the user account to and where it is locked down through group policy. Then later, the user account must be completely deleted from the organization unit. Such a process may seem simple enough in the case of one employee, but what happens in a large organization where employees resign on a daily basis? How does the IT admin manage this amongst the million other urgent tickets? It is just simply impossible. To help you with that, Manage Engine's ADManager Plus has all the necessary identity lifecycle management capabilities, which can help lighten the ticket load on your IT administrators. So, ADManager Plus's user lifecycle management feature is designed to help your system administrators to manage the daily tasks of creating new employee identities or revoking the old ones or managing the changes in existing identities. So, everything from provisioning to deprovisioning can be done from a single console. You can create and then you can modify users in bulk and configure their general attributes as well. And this entire process of enabling, disabling, deleting inactive user accounts can be handled very easily. All of these routine tasks can also be automated with defined automation policies. So this is how the console looks like. You can actually create multiple Active Directory users in one go by importing a CSV file that contains the required user details, which you cannot do in native Active Directory tools without using PowerShell scripts. AD Manager Plus lets you create AD users in bulk without using PowerShell scripts. Now, you can configure it to automatically deprovision user accounts or delete their mailboxes, remove their licenses, revoke their accesses to all cloud applications. All of it can be done all at once when an employee leaves the organization. So, you can set up a disable or delete policy to automate the identification and cleanup of ineffective or disabled or expired user accounts as well as groups without members. AD Manager Plus has a couple of customizable templates through which you can import data from a CSV file and bulk disable or delete accounts based on the organization's policy. This not only improves the efficiency of user deprovisioning but also the security posture, because attackers make use of these inactive accounts to launch botnet attacks or DDoS attacks. So it is very, very important to ensure that all inactive accounts are disabled right when the employee leaves the organization. Role based access is actually a method of providing access controls and rights to user identities based on their job roles in an organization. Role based access control gives you two major advantages. One, it enables smooth operation of every employee as they receive all the necessary access rights and credentials by default, which means that an employee can be productive right from the day one of joining an organization, and there is no need for them to go around asking for access rights, as everything that is necessary by the access control policies of the organization is provided to them by default. Therefore, every employee gets all the necessary access that they need to do their jobs on a daily basis. Now, the second advantage is that it ensures that every user can access only the information that they absolutely need. So, this means that they are prevented from accessing any organizational data or resources that doesn't pertain to them. It also results in increased security or defined authorized access to the organizational resources, and any employee's role in an organization is what determines the permissions that they need to perform their job. So this in turn ensures that lower level employees, that is the ones who don't have enough rights to access privileged data, cannot access the organization's sensitive information or perform any business level tasks. We'll also be able to secure the sensitive data and critical applications better this way. There'll be improved operational efficiency. And privacy laws nowadays also demand organizations to have role based access control policies in place. It will also help you meet the compliance requirement. Manage Engine's ADManager Plus has role based access capabilities that will help you create, modify, and delete new users as per your organizational requirements. So it has user creation templates for individual roles, which will have predefined settings for the user members' access rights or emails or group memberships. So you can define all the necessary attributes for a particular role and apply the same for every member who joins henceforth for that job role. These role based templates, they can easily be saved and deployed for multiple users all in a single click. What happens is that every time an employee joins your organization, your IT administrator need not be burdened with modifying their group and access requirements. We can just simply create as many role based templates as required based on the number of roles in your organization. So, whenever new employees join the organization, you just have to apply the appropriate template, and all the necessary privileges will be automatically assigned to the new accounts. Now, when you're burdened to do this manually, a lot of times you might give excess privileges to an employee who doesn't need that, or you might forget to revoke access privileges of an employee who no longer is a part of a business critical project. This way, privilege escalation happens and privilege credential abuse happens, which again leads to data breach. Now, AD Manager Plus has a user creation template, as I just mentioned, which will allow you to configure multiple or all the necessary attributes of user accounts in a single step. So just apply these templates during the user account creation process, and all the attributes of the new user accounts will automatically take the values of the corresponding attributes in the templates. It is a huge time saver, because consider a scenario in which there are many new employees joining your sales team at the same time. Instead of creating new accounts for all of them one after the other, just create a template with the appropriate values for all the required attributes and list all the users in a CSV file. You can just import them and apply the template, and new user accounts for all the new employees will be now created in your Active Directory with all the attributes. Help desk technicians help administrators in executing simple Active Directory tasks which do not usually need the expertise of the administrators to be completed. So, the help desk technicians give administrators enough time to focus on the critical tasks, but as and when needed, help desk technicians configured in ADManager Plus can be modified to suit the needs of your organization. You can remove or add roles assigned to them. You can modify their administrative boundaries and assign or remove account creation and modification templates delegated to them. So, this way, as much as you can ensure that your administrators are not burdened with routine tasks, you can also ensure these help desk technicians they do not have access privileges, and you can revoke or remove their privileges and their administrative boundaries as and when necessary. Now, as an organization becomes large in size, the number of user identities also keeps increasing on a continuous basis. So, increased number of users, the respective data that's generated will also be exponentially high. Therefore, to identify, monitor, and analyze such amounts of data, reporting becomes an absolute necessity. Reporting actually helps IT administrators to select or view or analyze or summarize just the data that they need. There are also additional features that can be used, such as customizable reports or creative visualizations that can, just help them take quick actions with a lot of data that they receive on a daily basis. In reporting, it's also very necessary to have an interactive dashboard which provides a bird's eye view of all the major occurrences that need to be periodically reviewed. Now, the analytics part in IGA, it's very intelligent. Real-time security for organizations can be taken care by implementing fine-grained access control for all your users. You can add additional factors for authentication like behavioral factors, or you can perform real-time risk analysis. This will help organizations to increase their overall security posture. It will help them develop a risk based approach to cybersecurity where we leave nothing to chance and every entity is checked for potential threats or risks. Organizations can also go through periodic risk assessments to get themselves evaluated and find out their risk score. This evaluation is very complex. It involves a very complex form of analytics where there are a lot of metrics or strategies that are involved to analyze the security posture of an organization and do scoring for the same. AD Manager Plus has such a feature in its pipeline, the risk assessment module. It'll be out very soon and it'll actually help organizations go through periodic risk assessments and get their risk score and take actions based on that. AD Manager Plus for now has a very functional, customizable report generating capability. IT administrators can very easily view all the essential information that they need in a very user friendly way. It has a web based reporting tool. It contains over 200 reports, and all of these reports can summarize and generate different types of reports, informations regarding users or groups or group memberships, passwords, access rights, emails, and so on. So, AD Manager Plus's report generating capability can help your IT administrators monitor or analyze crucial details about user behavior, like their real last logon times, who are the inactive AD users, the complete list of group members, like nested group members, detailed NTFS permissions, or details pertaining to recently created or modified or deleted user accounts, and many other details. The best part is that it has an extremely user friendly interface, and even the non IT users can generate and view reports very easily. The reporting software is entirely GUI based. So, using this, you can generate reports on Exchange Online and Exchange server mailboxes, Microsoft 365, Google Workspace. So, what is even more impressive that all these actions can be performed from just a single console. ADManager Plus can generate various types of user reports. You can track all dormant or unused Active Directory user accounts based on their true last logon. And to generate the inactive users reports, all that you have to do is specify the time period for which you wish to check the logon activity, and also the container from which you wish to fetch the inactive users, and the tool will display all the users who have been inactive for the specified time period, along with details such as their last log on time or account status. Now, once you generate the inactive users or computers report, you can select the desired ones from the report and delete, disable, or whatever action you want to perform using the management options located right within the report. So, whatever action you want to perform, you can do it right from the console. Now, on a day to day basis, organizations need to know about major security threats like insider attacks, and warding off such potential attackers can actually help in securing your organization's network. But to accomplish this, a few things need to be aligned. You must have a complete understanding of the permissions assigned to users and groups in your Windows Active Directory, the accounts, the resources, and data that they can access, their NTFS and share permissions, and the operations that they can perform. Basically, you should have detailed reports on the permissions of users and groups in your Active Directory. Now, from this reporting console, you can view all objects, users, groups, computers, folders, along with the permissions and type of permissions they have for each object. And with these purpose built reports, AD Manager Plus makes it easy to analyze and manage permissions of AD users and groups and ensure that they can perform only the operations that they are supposed to perform. Now, we have been forcing this fact in probably all our webinars or all our collaterals that configuring a strong password policy is crucial. It is the first line of defense against intruders. Therefore, lack of clarity in monitoring the passwords and password policies will make AD management unstable. So, Windows Active Directory does allow you to design a password policy that resists malicious events but fails in providing ready made information that can help Active Directory administrators in easy or error free password management. So, when Windows administrators are confronted with problems about users trying to log on with wrong or invalid passwords, this recent logon failures report will help these administrators to view all the Active Directory users whose logon failed because of a bad password. And if you analyze this data very carefully, multiple logon failures during a specified period of time from a specified account, probably an attacker is behind that account. This way, you can also prevent such malicious activities from happening and secure your organization's infrastructure. All of the IGA capabilities that I just spoke, they're all aligned with Gartner's core capabilities for IGA, and Manage Engine's AD Manager Plus does help you to align with Gartner's core capabilities for IGA. More than that, AD Manager Plus can actually help you reduce your cybersecurity debt if you manage these identities properly. If you secure these identities properly, there are chances that you can spot malicious activities even before they occur. You can prevent a data breach and thereby reducing cybersecurity debt. Thank you so much for joining today's webinar. And if these use cases that I just discussed in my webinar are relevant to you or to your organization, please reach out to me at debs@manageengine.com. I would love to give you a walkthrough of the product. AD Manager Plus can do much more than just the last three capabilities that I discussed with you. I would love to give you a walkthrough of the product. So if you have a requirement of such, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much again for joining today. Have a great day.